Corona, la cerveza más fina. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation. The president, Robert Lee, Sr., supervisor in attendance, Jimmy Rondo, along with the California State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Ernest H. Weiner, vice chairman Dr. Tirso Del Huco, Jr., and the commissioner in attendance is Elmer Costa. Now introducing to you our judges, scoring this bout from ringside, Guenadair, Dr. Ruben Garcia, and Gary Merritt, with our referee in charge of this bout, introducing Pat Russell. All right, fans, here we go. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us across the country on USSB, it's time for the main event of the evening, the IBF Featherweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing silver trunks with black trim, hailing from Tequila, Nayarit, Mexico. He weighed in at the featherweight limit of 126 pounds even, with a record of 54 wins, 10 losses. He has 25 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, challenging for his third world title, please welcome the two-time featherweight champion of the world, introducing Manuel Mantecas Medina. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red, white, and green trunks, originally from Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico, living in Fresno and training in San Jose, California. He weighed in at a ready 125 3/4 pounds with a record of 34 wins, 8 losses, and 5 draws. He has 20 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he is making the first defense of his title, introducing the IBF Featherweight Champion of the World, Hector Papi Lizarraga. Once again, Pat Russell, our referee in charge.
That's your line right there. Your line right there. Touch your gloves, championship of the world. Good luck. Come out of the bell.
Third man in the ring, Pat Russell, will be governed by the rules as issued by the IBF 10-point must system. 3 knockdown rule is not in effect, nor is the standing 8 count. Can't be saved with the bell in any round. And accidental headbutt or foul. A fight must go 4 complete rounds before they go to the cards. Well, the champion and the challenger are ready to go, and so are we. Pat Russell signals the bell, and we are underway on our main event. Jimmy Lennon doing his great opportunity to get us pumped up for the fight, and here we go. Rich, you're kind of on the edge of your seat. I know you're waiting to see what happens in round 1 here with these two guys.
Yes, I expect to see each guy try to set his style and tempo. Medina will try to use his jab, try to use his clever boxing ability. He's a very hard guy to hit. He'll use all of the ring, and Lizarraga will try to impose his will on him, try to move forward, relentless pressure all the time. The referee, by the way, Pat Russell, very competent official, was the referee in the fight of the year in 1996. Kennedy McKinney and Marco Antonio Barrera did an outstanding job in that hard-fought bout.
One thing about these two fighters, when you take a look at tape and take a look at styles, you will see almost like a mirror effect. They could probably be practicing in their locker rooms on attacking the other. Of course, their hands are held a little bit differently, with Lizarraga, of course, holding his almost to the peekaboo style from time to time.
Very good start by Mantecas Medina here in the opening moments of round 1, utilizing the ring, keeping Lizarraga away. Lizarraga's going to try to pound to the body if he can. That's how he wore down Welcome Nita. He was just a machine in that fight with a punishing body attack.
Welcome Nita over his career has proven to be a very durable champion as well. So quite a win indeed for Lizarraga in that win. Again, getting the TKO in the 11th round. Took him a long time to get there, but he finally won the world title.
Medina will utilize his long left jab, but at times what he will do is he will stop and throw a right hand lead. As he's on the move, he'll stop and just throw the right hand out there rather than the jab, which is what you'd expect. There you see it immediately. He likes to throw that right hand lead.
Good-looking left hand by the champion. And of course, fighting here in his adopted hometown of San Jose, virtually every punch that is close or makes a little noise will be well cheered at San Jose.
Lizarraga is the harder puncher of the two. Medina, the more accomplished boxer.
Well, you look at the record of Medina. Realize he's been in 13 world title fights.
Many of them have been wars. No one expected him to beat Alejandro Cobrita Gonzalez 2 years ago to win another world championship. That was really a shocker.
That, by the way, was his last fight in California, too. So it's been a while since the California fans have had a chance to look at him in person. Well, they've marveled for one round. We're back in a moment. Lizarraga already starting to look a little problem over the left eye. They went right to work on it. Maybe a slight cut.
Don't worry about it. Ain't nothing to it. Listen, you're a little over anxious. Just take it.
Let me take a look. It's all right. It's no big deal. All right.
Hey, a little anxious. Catch his jab and keep bobbing your way in.
Round two. Watch our heads inside, okay?
Medina had a very good first round. He was landing with lefts and the right-hand lead I talked to you about. There you see it. You just don't expect it the way it comes out there. You're looking for that left jab and he just stops his movement and throws the right-hand lead. Pat Russell, the referee, said it was a headbutt that caused that cut, but it's no trouble right now, no problem right now.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question because he leaned into the corner and said, no, it's just a little butt, nothing to it. And of course you could hear Lizarraga's corner inside the break trying to assure him there was no problem whatsoever. And of course, as we all know in boxing, there's not a lot of mirrors around for you to take sure and look for yourself.
Yes, trainers routinely lie to their fighters.
No, they just bend the truth a little.
Well, yeah. You got to be at least part psychologist to be a good boxing trainer, I think.
Medina seems like a very tough fighter to really get to. He's got some good movement. He's lunging at you all the time. He's kind of a tough guy to get to.
You're absolutely right, Sam. He's not an easy guy to hit. And he's built a lot of his career upon just that fact. He moves and clever guy, real good defense. And believe me, he gave Prince Nassim Hamed 11 rounds of hell in their fight.
Medina, because of that movement, has been called by many of the boxing people excellent defensive fighter. That, of course, makes Lizarraga's chore tonight a little more difficult.
And they felt in between rounds in the corner that he was too over anxious in that first round, lunging with punches and really not calculating in his drive toward Medina.
Papi, as he's called by his fans, looking some body shots. Medina trying to dig some underneath and up the middle of his own.
Well, body punches would be a smart idea against Medina because he wants to take Medina's legs away, Sam. He wants to slow down that movement, and body punches, that's the way to do it.
It's been a little bit of that inactivity for Medina, by the way. He hasn't fought since October 18th of last year, an 8th-round TKO over Jose Ayala. So he's been out of the ring a little bit, maybe a little rust early on, even though he always comes in the ring in extremely good shape and did here tonight at 126.
Lizarraga still a little bit short with a lot of these punches.
could almost see a little bit of impatience still there, Rich. Kind of getting inside, but just kind of anxiously wanting to do too much. Good right hand, comes back with a combination. Medina backing to the ropes, closing seconds to the second round.
What happened there, Medina was holding on to clamp down on the one arm of Lizarraga, but Lizarraga just wailed away with the other.
It was like a piston. He just kept bumping away.
Okay, round three. I want to make sure we don't have those headbutts, okay? He's coming in with the head, too. So let's see if he can set the will.
Referee Pat Russell, as always, doing his great job.
Now you see Lizarraga at long range lands a couple of punches to the head. That was his first real success to the head. And then he backed Medina into the corner, and that's where he was able to really work on him. When he got Medina into that corner. Now Medina held on to the one arm. See how he clamps down on the one arm, but Lizarraga just wailed away with the other.
Well, the champion showing a little ill effect now. At least has some medication on the outside of that left eye. Again, that was brought on by a clash of heads back in the first round. You heard in between rounds, Pat Russell, the referee, went into both corners and said, gentlemen, watch the headbutts. We don't have something go wrong with an unintentional or an accidental headbutt here. Let's fight.
Medina here at this stage of the fight, still with all of his energy, looks very quick, beating Lizarraga to the punch in the early going.
You know, Medina is a young man we pointed out. In addition to winning the IBF and the WBC, he won also the IBC. But he lost after winning it in his first defense, so he's a guy that would like to get that title and at least try to do something with it for a while.
That's right, he lost the title to Luisito Espinosa. And he had another chance to win it back, but was beaten. He is so hard to fight, though, Medina. He's just got a different type style. He won the IBF championship back in '91 when he beat Troy Dorsey. He did successfully defend that 4 times before losing to Tom Boom Boom Johnson, and then had that quick experience as champion once again when he took the title from Cobrita Gonzalez in '95.
It was interesting. He lost that to Boom Boom Johnson. In fact, he had beat him in the first of the title offenses, and he came back and lost him.
I'm sure he must have rued the day, decided to give him another chance.
Closing in on 1 minute left to go here in round number 3.
He made it pretty clear, Medina, that he was looking to box here tonight and not really mix it up with Lizarraga. No secret to his strategy coming in.
And so far he's been very true to his battle cry for tonight. Lizarraga digging some shots to the body. Continue to punch when he gets inside. Does he finish this round as he did number 2 with a flurry again? Medina tried to keep him off at long range. Good uppercut with the right hand that time by Medina. And now Lizarraga has a little cut, I believe, on the outside of the right eye. We'll look in between rounds. I think there's a problem there.
Yeah, there is blood on that side of the face as well.
Pat Russell's really taking a good hard look at that cut, and so will everybody else inside as we close the end of round 3.
Some of those blows are straying low.
Manuel Medina is pounding away on Lizarraga to the point of having an abrasion on the outside of the left eye. Now there may be problems on the right eye.
Keep your head right there. Good.
There you see the right eye being worked on now with the left eye early.
You hear me? Give him a rinse. You're getting a little, another bud on this side.
Yeah, okay.
My gosh. It's all right. I got it so far.
exciting round number 3. Saw Lizarraga near the end of the round just chasing after Medina, but still catching punches on the way in and beginning to bust up, and that could be a real problem. Medina staying active, though, even as Lizarraga rushes him. Medina likes to stay active and keeps throwing punches. Throwing a lot of punches tonight is Manuel Medina. And Lizarraga is going to have to suck it up against an experienced and difficult fighter to fight.
Well, they're starting round number 4 as we head in for a scheduled 12-rounder. This is for the IBF Featherweight Championship, owned by the man in the red, white, and the green trunks, Hector Lizarraga. Fighting out of San Jose, California, where he trains, lives now in Fresno, a native of course, Mexico, and he fights a fellow countryman in Medina.
Medina has started every round, the first minute or so, very strongly. Lizarraga's been better at the end of a round. Lizarraga getting a little careless walking in, Sam, and he's just walking right into punches.
Lizarraga trying to get off, but Medina's the man that's firing first. And then battling away and getting out of there.
Mantecas is fighting a great fight so far. Certainly having a great round here through the first minute.
Digging right hand by Medina as that lunging style of Lizarraga, which has kind of played into Medina's strategy here tonight. And again, the blood starts to fester again on the inside of that right eye of the champion. Russell, the referee, every time he breaks, he takes a close look at the eye again.
Lizarraga must pound to the body, but Medina's not letting him inside. And when he does, he clamps down on the arms.
When you look the way that Medina's fighting here tonight, Rich, is the fact that you go, there's a lot of fine featherweights around, but nobody really fighting much better than Medina in this fight right now.
Yeah, he's fighting so far the perfect kind of fight against Lizarraga. You can see why he gives anybody, even when he loses fights, he gives anybody trouble.
Lizarraga becoming almost a bloody mess now, Rich.
Yeah, and Medina just dominating this round. Let's see, though, if Lizarraga comes on in the last half minute or so like he has in the previous 2 rounds. Boy, Hector is looking very wild, just rushing in. What's your head, step back?
Medina's done a very good job. You can see that left hand followed by the long right hand. Looping left by Lizarraga. Not a lot in this round, though. And now the blood is starting to trickle in the eye of the champion on the right side. They're really going to have to work on it again. It doesn't look like it's an extremely long cut, but it is certainly bleeding very badly right now.
Yeah, and Lizarraga is bothered by it because he's just not doing much.
Well, if there's points for a Hart, Lizarraga certainly gets his 10, and certainly on the other side, Medina gets the same. This is the left side. The right side is, that left side is now opened up pretty good.
Get some water. Get some water right here.
That's right. How are we looking here, Coach? You got him under control. Hey, how far, Hector? When he turns around, don't punch him in the back, okay? Just be a gentleman with the backhand. I know. I watch it.
Medina,
the fronts are high.
Very good round. Look at that jab going to work. Medina just kind of non-stop punching. If he misses with the left, he's going to try with the right. Lizarraga getting a little bit wild. Not cautious at all. Eating jabs, and at the end of the round, Lizarraga made a headlong rush back at Medina to try to get himself back into the fight, but it certainly wasn't enough, I wouldn't think, to steal that round.
Corona Extra bringing you World Championship Boxing from San Jose, California tonight. Sam Smith along with Rich Murata, our boxing expert out of Los Angeles, California, up the road in San Jose tonight. At the San Jose Arena, this community turning out to watch Lizarraga right now in some trouble against the silver-cladded Medina. Medina, the challenger to the champion, and he has had a solid early round. Looping left hand by Lizarraga. Very speeding that
saw Lizarraga hit Medina in the back. Now, Pat Russell, the referee, went over between rounds and warned him about that. He said when he turns, don't hit him in the back. He's already done that a couple of times. Medina, when they get into a clinch, turns to the side, so he leaves that back exposed. Lizarraga trying to come a little faster, Sam, if he can.
Yeah, he's got a very determined look on his face because he realized he's got to turn this tide here. As it right now is flowing downhill in favor of Medina. It is still very early, only in round 5, but Medina certainly has controlled early rounds.
Medina's a funny guy because every time you write him off in his career and you think he's reached the point of no return, then he comes up with some unbelievable performance.
You know, an interesting note on Lizarraga, by the way, he has 20 knockouts in his 34 wins. Interesting enough, only one of those came in his first 17 fights. So 9 have come in his last 13. So he has suddenly started to develop, setting down on some power. Certainly that has come from changing some trainers and some management situation, but he certainly is able to throw better punches, but has not been able to get on Medina tonight.
Oh, the cut's opening up now, Sam. He's bleeding very badly. Is the champion Lizarraga.
Lizarraga complaining he was from another headbutt, but that cut was open up early on. Now here's the situation on the IBF. On an accidental headbutt, if indeed that's what opened up the cut, and it has to be termed by the referee, Pat Russell, they would go to the cars after 4 complete rounds, and we are down round 5. But that is a really starting cut that's opening up badly again now.
Lizarraga appears to be in danger of losing his championship in his first defense.
Doctor is going to be summoned to the corner. And the referee is the only man that can stop it in the IBF fight. But the doctor can give him his advice.
No.
Stop the No. That hurts me. Okay. Stop it. Fuck it. I don't think we're ahead.
We're not ahead, Hector.
Okay.
And now, there was, according to Pat Russell, the referee just looked over at me and said it was a headbutt, which opened it up again. As I told you, it just opened up very badly. Watch for the clash of heads. No doubt about it.
You got to fight. You don't want this fucking fight. Stop. Okay, headbutt.
By the way, the doctor just stuck his head in. Pat Russell has given us the high sign the fight's going to go on.
They told Lizarraga, you're not ahead. They don't want the fight stopped now.
He's going to destroy his big. How we doing? Okay, bien, but
I've got Medina up by 3 points already through 5 rounds.
You're right.
Seconds are still working feverishly as they get their fighters ready for the 6th round. This man, the champion, is in a bit of trouble right now with some cuts.
It could turn into a street war.
Certainly Medina, with his back to you, would like to have it that. And again, already at the start of the round, the blood is flowing here from the champion, Lizarraga, from the right eye.
It's going to get very rough here.
Pat Russell, the referee, is starting to get covered with blood himself. Medina. It's almost like he's put a bullseye on that right eye now, Rich.
He's bleeding terribly, and Lizarraga is blinking now out of the right eye. But he's trying to come with everything he's got here at the start of the round. He's not waiting anymore.
Desperation by the champion.
Headbutts called on both cuts.
Medina continuing to fight like a whirling derby. Lizarraga, the champion, trying to battle back.
Since losing to Paul Banky in 1987, Hector Lizarraga has lost only 1 fight since then in 32 bouts. He felt that fight really turned him around because he had a bad record up to that point, but he went up against a quality opponent who would go on to become world champion, and he very nearly won the fight. And at that point, he saw that he had the ability if he really applied himself, and he was right.
Took him 13 years of toiling to get him a world championship, and now He may be a few dozen stitches away from losing it with that bad right eye. Medina. He has been just almost relentless in his attack here, Rich. Very impressive as Lizarraga tries to counter on him.
Lizarraga keeps chasing him, and Medina is trying to pinpoint his punches and sharpshoot him. But I think Lizarraga feels there's a real urgency here.
Closing seconds of round number 6. If indeed this fight should be ended on a cut with the blood flowing from the champion, it would be rather ironic that he is fighting in the home of the San Jose Sharks, who try to feed on the blood of their prey.
Well, there's plenty of that right now. Crowd really trying to urge Lizarraga on.
Medina, Lizarraga, battling just above us. Closing 10 seconds of the 6th round. Medina has continued to peck away on the champion and may be on his way to getting a shot at a title again. Rich, the one thing that's happening over in Lizarraga's corner as we listen in over there, no longer strategy. This is the problem of trying to keep your fight.
Está tirando putazos desde acá, todo bien cortito, sin combinaciones, ¿ok? Estás peleando a lo pendejo ahorita, ¿ok? Don't swing, él ahorita está peleando tu pelea, está peleando adentro, ¿ok?
He's the doc. Gotta ask.
It's all right, I got him. I think he's all right. Let me take a quick look here real fast, buddy. He's all right. You're okay, Ken.
I'll take care of this. You go get him. You don't give up on him, Joe. Don't headhunt, though. Poor guy.
They're pleading with Lizarraga not to give up, but it's hard to fight a man who comes at you as awkwardly as Medina does. There you see, starting to throw the right and ends up hitting you with the left hand.
Give me the second ear, okay?
I have Medina in front at this point. I think they feel that way in Lizarraga's corner as well. But they want Lizarraga not to just headhunt. They told him go to the body as well. They'd like to keep a little bit to the game plan if they can. Sometimes when you have blood like this, Sam, and cuts like this, it kind of throws all your plans right out the window.
This is the 7th round, and again the cut. But there's been a big concern still in punching reign of Medina, a 2-time world champion. Lizarraga getting the draw of having to fight Medina in his first title defense. Then running into a headbutt early on. Rich, I didn't mark it down. Was it around the 2nd or the 3rd round the headbutt came? The first one, of course, came in round 1.
Right.
The outside left side.
Yes, then in the second one came in the 3rd round.
3rd round. And, of course, you may recall about that time that Pat Russell was pleading with both corners and fighters to watch the headbutts. If it is stopped on the cut, it goes to the cards. Medina continues to lead with the right hand. He'll jab it up. There's that lead right hand again.
Lizarraga better put his hands up. He's walking in almost like Jake LaMotta did against Ray Robinson, just trying to prove to him you can't hurt me. But in the meantime, he's getting hit with clean punches. This is just stupid by Lizarraga. He's in no position to do this.
Psych 101 is not going to work this late in the fight when you are beaten and battered. You still have the heart and still have to warn. Blood even being slung at our ringside cameras here. That's how it's flowing here from the champion, Lizarraga. Medina, non-stop action. Difficult to hit. Always moving.
Certainly at this stage of Medina's career, 64 fights, 13 world title fights, you're not going to psych him out in the middle of a fight. It's not bothering him to be fighting in the hometown of somebody else. He's seen it all before. Whoa, it's a takedown.
Russell, as is traditional, wipes off the gloves. Now, a warning to holding to Lizarraga. They stopped the time when they both went down. 10 seconds left to go in the round. We have fought 7 in this world title fight.
No te esperes los 10 segundos para que tire.
Déjala mucho aire con toda normalidad, respira con todo su hombre del mundo. Tranquilito.
No tienes que mantener el ritmo, hijo, ya lo tienes listo, pero no quieres desviarlo, sino achetealo, métele 10 o 100 golpes.
Déjala mucho aire. A ver, vamos, otra vez. Vamos otra vez. Otra vez, mira. No te saques de tu programa de trabajo que está funcionando. Es tu mano izquierda, mucho paso lateral, y no es ofensivo el 1-2. Ahí vuelve a hacer el cambio de paso, vuelve a pintar, vuelve a manejar. Si tienes las manos abajo, no le pegues arriba de la cabeza. Pinta antes de llegar y no venimos. Pégale al centro del cuerpo. ¿Entendiste? Pégale al centro del cuerpo, no dejes el cuerpo adentro.
Medina's corner. No more knockdowns. No more takedowns, rather.
Eyes in problem for the champion. We're heading for 8. Corona Extras World Championship Boxing Series from San Jose, California. Sam Smith, Rich Marotta. As we greet you tonight on a very special night, double World Championship night. Hector Lizarraga trying to defend his featherweight title here at the IBF, but in trouble. As Manuel Medina, the former 2-time world champion, has rarely had his way with him, almost from the very start.
Boy, there's been no wanting for action in any of our bouts here this evening, Sam. And certainly there's hardly been any kind of a respite, except when that bell rings in this one.
Cassius Lloyd able to come up with a victory over Sergio Liendo in the earlier title fight we have tonight of the WBU featherweight division. And Carlos Navarro in a non-title fight coming up with a knockout as well.
And having to get up off the canvas himself after suffering a solid knockdown.
Second time only in his career to go down. You saw that clashing of heads, and they both just clashed again. Lizarraga almost relegated to, as you pointed out, Rich, early in the fight, that very tough lunging style here against Medina. Once he gets in there, Medina with those quick hands really makes him pay.
But Lizarraga really needs to come forward, Sam. He needs to let his hands go. And he's not a great defensive fighter. I do believe he's been thrown off, though, by the cut eyes.
Yeah. It's almost a hesitancy at times to go in realizing that's the only way he's got a chance to win this fight.
Looking frustrated there as he backed off.
Very concerned.
He's not the relentless fighter he was against Welcome Nita.
No marks, by the way, on Lizarraga during that Welcome Nita fight. Two bruises and, of course, little abrasions, but nothing what he's seen here tonight. And he's trying to rumble here again on Medina. Well, Medina just really putting some punches together again. Big right hand. Lizarraga just dropping his hands here.
I will say this, Manuel Medina is fighting 3 minutes of every round. Lizarraga has only been fighting in spurts. And he's not himself because of those cuts. Medina's bleeding a little too. He's got a cut now on his eye.
They're trying to see if it's a cut at all. Chuck Bodak is taking a look to see if there's a problem there.
A ver, levanta la vista y jala mucho aire, busca oxigenación. Total, a ver.
It was just the blood coming off of that of Lizarraga.
He had blood coming from the nose. It may not be the cut.
Con viveza, no se entregue.
A ver, jala aire, no pierda tiempo.
Si puedes buscar unos ganchos al hígado, búscalos, pero con cuidado sin meter la cabeza.
Medina was just lathering Lizarraga with all kinds of punches. And Lizarraga hands down, trying to avoid punches, getting away from a lot of them, but still eating a lot of leather.
So the champion again having his problems in the last round as they go for another as we're heading into round number 9 is underway. Manuel Medina has won a couple of world titles. Would love to add a third to his arsenal here tonight. Lizarraga, you can see with a salve all over both left and right eyes, trying to at least try to protect those cuts. It really have been a problem for him.
The cut on the left eye they've been able to pretty well keep under control, but the later cut, which is the one on the right side, has really caused them a problem.
And again, Lizarraga is looking over to Pat Russell saying, hey, there was another headbutt. Medina really pecking away.
Lizarraga managed to get in a pretty strong left in that exchange.
There's a right hand by Lizarraga.
Yeah, I think the crowd senses that something might be happening here. Lizarraga trying to turn the fight around.
Medina is definitely cut. He's got a cut on the right eye now.
Yeah, now it's just a total bloodbath. Total bloodbath.
So both fighters now with cuts. Medina in the silver. The champion Lizarraga trying to battle on here.
Now the question is, will Medina get thrown off? Because he is bleeding very badly.
Almost a fight that looks like a couple of scissor hands are out there. They're really bleeding.
How grueling is this?
What a bloody mess of Medina. But it's now suddenly given Lizarraga something to fight on about, as he now knows that his challenger is in trouble as well.
Just an all-out war, Sam. Not much science in this round. We are splattered here at ringside with blood. And I'm sure a lot of the ringside people are having the same experience.
They're definitely leaving by rows and heading back a row or two. .30 more seconds to go in the ninth.
There will be drama in both corners. And the cut men will earn their money. I will tell you now that Chuck Bodak, one of the great cut men in the world, is in the corner of Manuel Medina. But he's got a task ahead of him. He's already got 1 foot up on the stairs. He's ready to come in the ring.
We will leave it to the drama of the corners. The cut men. The seconds trying to keep their fighters in it as they head for the end of round number 9.
Doctor coming in now to look in the corner of Medina.
Another one is bigger. Another one, no, come on. Hey!
Now they're saying the fight's over.
Hey, no, hey!
They're not even allowing Bodak the chance to work on the cut. That's a bit surprising.
Now the doctor has said no. Of course, he has to convey that to the referee, Pat Russell.
Give a chance to work. Make a decision, will you?
All right.
And there's a lot of concern going on right now in that corner. Again, the doctor can advise but cannot stop it. If it was a normal California fight, he could. They will continue to fight, says referee Pat Russell.
Headbutt and we're going. Tell him. I'll take care of it.
One more headbutt, said the referee Pat Russell, and we are done.
Next round, we're still going.
I think that the doctor wanted the fight stopped.
Oh, yeah, he signaled no.
But it's the referee's decision, and Pat Russell said carry on.
Hay que burlarlo. Olvídate de la cortada, ¿entendiste?
Very vulnerable spot, though. Very vulnerable.
¿Entendiste?
Now, if it is stopped on cuts, we still go to the cards. And who knows if Medina's not leading on the cards anyway. Lizarraga. He's not, but we're ready to go for the 10. more headbutts, says the referee, Pat Russell, and this one's over.
Medina turning southpaw for the first time tonight. Trying to get that jab out on that side of where his eye is.
Keeping away from an eye. Now he switched back. Now he goes back southpaw.
He wants to keep Lizarraga off of him and throw Lizarraga off balance.
Good uppercut thrown by Medina. Lizarraga tries to fight through it.
I must tell you that I just did not think Medina could go at this pace for this long.
Lizarraga starting to get this adopted hometown of San Jose up and moving around. His cut now starting to bleed a little more profusely. Again, he's on the eyelid of the right eye. The doctor again in the tent says no go. The referee, Pat Russell, says I've got to give him a chance. And he lets it go on. And the one thing to me, Rich, that says it gives a great deal of confidence to Chuck Bodak, who's helped to close that cut on the challenger.
Absolutely. Well, that's the guy you want to place your confidence in.
Corner of Lizarraga has done a marvelous job since the first round. Keep their fighter in this thing. A minute 5 to go in 10. Medina. Still, as Rich pointed out, almost a carbon copy of what we saw. Good right hand by Lizarraga. Played off pretty well that time by the challenger, Medina.
Medina has fought a very effective round, though, Sam. I mean, especially coming from where he was with that cut and had a rough round the last round.
Seconds to go in the 10th. Combination still being thrown by Medina. Medina trying to add a punctuation mark to what is another good round, but here comes the champion. If there was anybody in this crowd, and I don't believe there was at the start of our double world championship fight tonight, that says, hey, I want to get my money's worth. Well, those folks have definitely stepped back and said, yep, I got it.
Trying to work on these cuts in the corner right in his eyes.
You see both the corners really having to work hard on Hector.
You got
both of them have right eye, baby. And the challenger, Medina.
We got to have a KO.
Round 11, Hector. How we doing, son?
A good fight.
Better than ever.
Yeah,
¿Me puedes escuchar? Mira, te quedan 2 rounds y tienes que subirlo para fin de que te puedas coronar campeón. Pero con mucho paso lateral. Para hacer los 10 segundos, búrlalo los pasos laterales y recibe los golpes muy secos.
Los 10 segundos no te tienes que ganar esos 10 segundos. Tienes que cuidarlos.
Another big action round. Medina really utilizing that jab. He had fought a very effective round. Lizarraga did get in that one right, and he drove Mantecas back, no doubt about it. But I don't think that was enough for Lizarraga to win that round, although it was the single hardest punch of the round.
Well, this is round number 11. They're set to go 12 for the world title fight. The champion walked into this arena tonight knowing he had a tiger by the tail of Medina, a former 2-time world champion. Well, Medina has sliced and diced his way to a couple of bad cuts from the champion, and now he too bleeds from the right eye.
Medina was the underdog, Sam, when he beat Troy Dorsey to win the world championship. He was a huge underdog when he upset Cobrita Gonzalez to win the championship in '95. Definitely the underdog coming into this fight against Hector Lizarraga, and he may be on the verge of making it title number 3.
I can hear him say it now. I had him right where I wanted him. You know, after this fight is all said and done, and I hope there's no permanent damage, certainly on either eye, but you have to go back and kind of really compliment Pat Russell. He made a tough decision back there in around the 9th round to let this fight go on, almost denying Medina a chance to regain a championship. He let it go on, and Lizarraga, of course, was able to try to defend the title. He did make a good decision if, of course, it doesn't go on for permanent damage on those eyes.
Well, I think Russell has handled this fight expertly.
You can hear the crowd here in San Jose starting to chant for Hector now, trying to get him going. Papi's had himself a bad night tonight at times, but has fought with the heart of a champion. Big right hand by Medina. Rich, it's almost from about the 6th or 7th round on. Lizarraga just kept dropping his hands down and almost inviting Medina to come in on him.
Well, he was. I guess he was trying to prove a point to Medina that he couldn't hurt him, but I could think of other points I'd rather drive home.
I would, yeah. Like I can hit you a little harder than you hit me, you know? Medina kind of driving that right hand, and you saw both of them kind of yanking their heads back as they kind of grinding away on each other there. Medina again shooting that right hand right to the chest of the champion. There you see it again right up the middle.
Lizarraga has closed almost every round very strong.
This fight has suddenly fallen to the cut people, and now both of them are standing right in front of their trainers. Of course, for Lizarraga, that is his trainer. On the other side, of course, Chuck Wolfgang is in the ring with their challenger. The 12th and final round is on its way. My, what a fight tonight.
This has been an early candidate for fight of the year. Just a total bloodbath, lots of heart and guts. Skill shown by these two fighters.
Start really, let it go.
On my card, I have Manuel Medina ahead by 3 points going into this final round, which would indicate unless Lizarraga does something extremely dramatic, 2 or 3 knockdowns, I would have him at least losing this fight on points. Not that my scorecard means anything.
Well, if you want drama, you want excitement, you have dialed it in on the Cedric Kushner Sports Network tonight. Corona Extras World Championship Series comes to the 12th and final round of the IBF Featherweight Championship of the world. The champion Lizarraga making his first title defense against the 2-time world champion that has absolutely fought brilliantly here tonight. Manuel Medina. Now you see the champion. He wants to rumble to try to get a win here.
They were pleading with Lizarraga in the corner, telling him, let your hands go, you need a knockout to win.
Lizarraga not getting much done off the ropes that time.
Well, Manuel Medina may have a great cut man and Chuck Bodak in his corner, but it took that cut just a few seconds to reopen again and really start flowing blood here in the 12th round.
Vision of both fighters is very much impaired by the blood flowing down in their eye. Pat Russell becoming a bloody mess himself.
Sam, even without the blood, the pace that this fight has been fought on has just been unreal.
Step back, watch your head.
Lizarraga just fighting on heart right now.
Dracula wishes it was here for this. That was some good body work there by Lizarraga. Needed a little more of that in the earlier round.
Well, the closing 20 seconds, this crowd would love to have Hector come up with a punch to win it, but you can see who's carrying the fight. It's the challenger.
You know, he never took the legs away from Medina. Medina was strong from rounds 1 through 12 tonight. And it'll be up to the judges now.
Well, there you see the beaten, the battered, the champion of the challenger. Two gladiators that have come and laid it on the line here in San Jose, and it has been a night of championship boxing, and that one, as Rich pointed out, may be one of those as a candidate for the fight of the year. It was not pretty, certainly with the blood streaming down the eye of the champion from round 3 on. In round 9, almost to the point of being ended. When the challenger was on his stool, the doctor said, "No mas." The referee, Pat Russell, said, "Yes, we'll go." He goes to the 12th and final round, and now you see the challenger, Medina, really working on the right eye.
But you stay in too long.
That eye on both sides will not hurt any longer after the decision is read one way or the other for a champion here tonight. Lizarraga, waiting 13 years, a 31-year-old veteran out of Fresno, California, saw his dreams of an easy defense taken away probably on the day the contract was signed. Manuel Medina getting a look in his eye of saying, "I've got another chance for a world title," and taking full advantage of it. The ebbs and flow of the fight never was really there. It almost was the fact that it was Medina who had it. I think we've got the numbers already. Let's go upstairs with Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Dr. Ruben Garcia, scores at 116 to 112. Judges Gary Merritt and Gwen Adair, both scores about the same, 118 to 110. All three in favor of the winner and new IBF Featherweight Champion of the World, Manuel Mantecas Medina.
So the man that has now won a couple of championships adds a third belt to the mix. He won the IBF earlier over Troy Dorsey. He lost it after 3 defenses. He won the WBC, lost it in the first defense, and now he's upstairs as the world champion with Rich Murata.
All right, Art Gallegos will interpret for us. Manuel, congratulations, felicidades. Many people didn't think you could do this again. How did you do it?
¿Cómo te sentías? Mucha gente no pensaba que lo podías hacer. ¿Cómo te sientes? ¿Cómo lo sientes? Me siento muy contento porque gracias a la preparación, thanks to his training, Gustavo Ramos me dio un gancho de hígado que me habló, pero pensé mucho en mi hijo que iba a nacer y le eché muchas ganas por mi hijo que va a nacer. He said on the 8th round he felt a little tired, but he thought about his son. He's coming to this world. He's born in a couple of months, and he put everything on his heart to win this fight, and here they have a new champion.
You suffered a very bad cut near the end of the fight. How badly did it bother you?
¿Qué tanto te golpeó él en el último 8º round? Pues sí, me pegó. Lo que pasa es que es un peleador bastante fuerte, pega duro, con un golpe me puede haber noqueado, pero gracias a la condición que traemos, todo salió bien. He said he really hurt him, but he's a great fighter and he's a hard puncher, but thanks to his training and his team, he came out and he dedicates this to his family.
You must have known that he was going to come straight for you. What was your plan of battle? How did you want to fight him?
Dice que estabas mirando que él venía a pelearte abajo. ¿Cuál era tu plan para pelearlo? Pelearlo lateralmente, boxearlo, que tratar que no me golpeara abajo y gracias a Dios no me golpeó y no me lastimó mucho. Just stay with him, box him, stay out and stay in and box him and punch him straight up until he become really
really tired, and it started, you know, all the blood and all the stuff made a decision.
Every time people try to say that you're finished, you surprise everyone. How do you do it?
Todo el tiempo la gente dice que ya estás terminado y siempre los sorprendes a todos. ¿Cómo haces eso?
Porque pues, gracias a mis preparadores físicos, gracias a don Robert, que me ha ayudado mucho, a don Rómulo, a todo mi equipo, que gracias a ellos he durado.
Thanks to all his technical support, his trainers and everything. It's a teamwork, and that's what it comes out to.
What will you do next? Do you want another fight with Hamed, or will you go in a different direction?
Pues, ¿vas a pelear con Hamed otra vez o vas en otra dirección?
Primeramente descansar y mis preparadores, Ignacio Wizard, van a arreglar eso.
First he's going to rest a little, and then his manager is going to decide who's going to fight next.
Okay, we look forward to seeing you again soon. Congratulations.
Felicidades.
Gracias.
Espero verte otra
Y
vez en una grande pelea.
un saludo al cable.
He's sending everybody, you know, to his thanks for supporting him, and he will be in the ring again.
All right, congratulations. Thank you very much, Manuel Medina, once again champion of the world. Let's go back down to ringside and Sam.
Thank you, Rich. Enjoyed working with you again tonight. I hope you've enjoyed our night of World Championship Boxing. Early on, Cassius Beloy, young man from South Africa, came up with another title, but now Manuel Medina adds a third. For Rich Marotta and all of our staff, thanks for joining us. Good night for World Championship Boxing, brought to you by Corona Extra.